just no good anymore. It's just no good anymore. What is the loneliest? What is the loneliest? What is the loneliest number that you'll ever do?
What's up, everybody? Mount Vernon Kid here, coming to you again with the Pin and Spot. How's everybody doing? Basically, this is episode 182. And if you thought I was done with going down memory lane with you guys on the great comic book cartoons of the past, the present, you were sadly mistaken. And if you can hear that music, yeah, I'm talking about the one, the only, the Man of Steel himself, Superman. This series debuted on the WB September 6, 1996, and ran to February 12th of 2000. Of course, you know, Bruce Timm, this is Bruce Timm's baby, you know, this is all thanks to him. The show ran for about 54 episodes, I believe, very short. The theme music, as you can hear, was composed by Shirley Walker. And this series was probably a great Superman series because they mixed old classic Superman with newer modern Superman. You know, it was to the point it was a lot grittier and a lot more adult themed, like the Batman, like Batman's cartoon was. It never felt rushed. It always made you like, wow, you know, that was very cool. I really enjoyed it. As I said before, I love this series because it made Superman feel more humanized. And what I mean by that, like, even though he's Superman, there are things that were little, like, he did, like, show, like, he could, like, things that we would find heavy, but to him it's not that heavy. But if you've seen past Superman cartoons, everything is easy to him. But in this cartoon, not everything was so easy, and I like that. Tim Daly is Superman. He voiced Superman so well. It was great to hear Tim Daly's voice come out. Clancy Brown is Lex. They are, you know, Clancy Brown is Lex. There's no other person I can see Lex voice-wise. As I said, the series ran for 54 episodes. It was nominated for an Emmy, and like I said, it applied more modern and serious tone for Superman. So like when Superman was bleeding, if he bled, he bled. Things like that. I liked the first episode where it showed, the first episode was called The Last Son of Krypton, and they basically showed, the last couple of days of Krypton before it was destroyed, it was blown up, and we got to see like glimpses of, okay, who's going to be some of the villains. We saw his Rose Galley was in this, but we also saw how devious Brainiac was before he became a fully motioned android or whatever. And Jor-El saw that he was actually downloading himself to save himself and not telling, the rest of the Kryptonians that Jor-El was right. They fly off, young Kal-El flies off and gets raised by the Kents. It was kind of funny to hear Jonathan Kent call Clark, he must be a Russian baby, a Sputnik. It was kind of funny. That was really funny to hear that. But like I said, his rogues gallery was in this: Brainiac, Lex, Parasite, Mixoplex, Toyman, even some new people, Livewire and Volcana and people like that. But it was always a great show to watch. And, you never knew what you were going to get sometimes, and sometimes you were just on the edge of your seat, like, wow. When Darkseid first appeared, it was great because pretty much that's one of my favorite episodes, Apocalypse Now, which was paid homage to Jack Kirby. And that episode really, really touched me in that episode because I'll talk a little bit more about that episode, but it was really good to watch this show. There were a lot of superheroes that guest starred on the show later on. Of course, during the second season, I guess you could say, they did the whole World's Finest. Batman and Superman finally meet, and that was a good series. That's always something I always like to talk about. As well as Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, Dr. Fate, Flash, Aquaman. They all guest starred on this show. Of course, the supporting cast, Lois, Jimmy, Perry White, everybody like that. They made Superman really connect with the police force. Like the character Dan Turbin, he was big in this series until his death later on, which was a very sad scene to really see. But like I said, a lot of people said, "Oh, Superman took a whooping in this because he like when bullets hit him, they bounce off it. But if a higher caliber bullet was, he would feel it a little bit. But you understood, like, okay, you get it. But it's not gonna kill him, things like that. But it was very, very highly recommended. It was a very highly recommended series. I'm just ashamed that it only ran for 54 episodes. I thought it ran longer, but it didn't. And as for favorite episodes, there are so many, but I'll give you a few that I can think of right off the back. Trying to think of some episodes. I know them off the top of my head. I'm just trying to think of some of them. Let's see. Okay, I got one. After the pilot episode, the 2 pilot episode with Last Son of Krypton, I thought that the episode Fun and Games was great. That was a good episode because that was the episode Bruno Mannheim was being hunted by Toyman. That was good, and that was where Toyman first appeared. He was just creepy looking. That face just was really funny. Episode 5, A Little Piece of Home, where they finally introduced Superman's poisonous effects to kryptonite, and that was great. The birth of Parasite, feeding time. We got to see that. And of course, when they brought in Metallo, it was great. Anytime Metallo was great. It was always great to see Metallo. Malcolm McDowell voiced Metallo in this. Of course, the main man when basically Lobo came into the picture. Of course, like I said, World's Finest. I loved when they had the Flash on it, called Speed Demons. There were just so many great episodes. And of course, like I said, Apocalypse Now. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that one, because that was a really, really, really sad episode. It really told told a good story, and it was really sad to see. So like I said, Apocalypse Now was a 2-part episode. It was basically the season 3 premiere, actually, and Darkseid is basically is preluding basically an all-out assault on Earth, and Superman basically comes, and Orion comes later and tells him that Darkseid is on his way. They explain to Darkseid who he is, what he wants. And later on, Darkseid, with the help of Bruno Mannheim and Inner Gang, are basically causing destruction, making those big like fire holes that you see on Apocalypse. That's what was going on. And basically, after stopping that, Darkseid basically launches a preemptive strike against Superman. Basically, takes Superman out of the game for a while. However, Superman comes back later on. Basically, Darkseid comes on a tank and parades Superman broken and everything. Like, here's your savior. I've beaten him. Blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you gonna do now? However, later on, we also see that Dan Turbin, he basically rallies the people of Metropolis and Earth. Like, we have to stand up. Even if Superman is down for the count right now, we have to fight. And in that process, Dan Turbin becomes like the savior of humanity at this point. He's like the real hero. Superman breaks free and takes on Calabac, whoops Calabac real good, and Superman comes after Darkseid. Let's finish this, Like I said before, Michael Ironside did a great job voicing Darkseid. Just the voice of Darkseid and Michael Ironside's voice coming out was like, wow, that was really great. Unfortunately, the New Genesis comes and says, like, Earth is under our protection. If you break that, you'll break the treaty with New Genesis and us, and we'll go to war. However, afterwards, Darkseid's will leave now, okay? And Turbin is basically saying, yeah, get out of here, and basically, Darkseid says, savor your victory. But remember, victory also has its price, and he shoots his Omega beams at him and zigzags between Superman and basically disintegrates Dan Turbin. And everybody just shocked, and it was amazing that they actually showed that, like, literally he just disintegrated, and Superman just goes into a rut, and he just destroys the tank that Darkseid was on. And the emotion that you felt, everything that Superman was going through, and just Tim Daly's acting ability to basically voice that and broadcast that out into that scene was just so great. And then at the funeral, Superman is at Turbin's grave, and he says, goodbye, my friend. In the end, the world didn't need a Superman, just a brave one. And right there, that summed up how much, this series was great, but it also showed you that, how much respect Superman had for the people of Earth and, people of Metropolis, and it showed that, yeah, I'm super, but these people stood up to a being that could kill them without an instant. And it really told a great story. And then the series finale basically took the idea from I think Red Sun, I believe, where basically it was like a what if story of what if Superman landed on Apocalypse and was raised by Darkseid, and basically Superman basically comes to Metropolis and basically tries to destroy it and take over. But in the end, there was a great, beautiful fight scene between those two, and I'm not even gonna spoil it. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It was a final battle, and that battle was great. But all in all, this was a really great series. I really enjoyed it. And you guys tell me what you thought about Superman the Animated Series. And this is Mount Vernon Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned. I'm out.